Don't you see I can't go back into that house? Haven't I had enough without that?
Pinky, I worked long and hard to give you an education. And if they done educated the very heart out you, everything I've worked and slaved so hard for is wrong. Now hear me. You're going up to Miss M's. You're going to take good care of her like the nurse you is. Or I swear on the Holy Bible, I'll rip the living daylights out you.
Yes, I'm going away. I should never have come back here.
Here, let me help you. Kind of wrinkle. Reckon I better run the smoothing iron over it before you pack it. Kind of pretty, too. Must take a heap of study to learn to be a nurse.
Of course, it's 3 years, as you know.
Miss M didn't have no training at all.
Why should she? Her kind never learns anything useful.
Didn't stop her from nursing me, though, when I was down sick with pneumonia and fixing to die.
Miss M nursed you? I'd like to see that.
Where you been living, child? What sort of stuff they teach up yonder? Have I put in all my work on you for you to turn out to be nothing but low-down trash? Yes, Pinky. Miss M did nurse me. Don't believe me? Ask Doc Joe. Miss M stay here, sleep here in your little room. She cook for me, feed me with a spoon, wash my poor, tired body, even empty my slops like she was my loving servant. Now she's fixing to die. And my own grandchild done harden her heart again. Sure it's on. Cousin Em.
I never nap, and I'm not doped.
My goodness, she's whiter than I am.
Prettier, too.
Well, it just gives me the creeps. Seriously, Cousin Em, I got to talk to you alone. It's important. I came in to warn you about this girl, Pinky. My new maid, Roselia, knows all about her.
Now, Melba, I'm not going to soil my ears by listening to kitchen gossip.
But for all you know, lying up here in bed, she's stealing you blind.
Oh, Melba, think I left my brooch over there on the bureau. See if it's still there.
Well, I certainly will. I most certainly will. That's just what I've been talking about. Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness it's still here.
Oh, Mrs. Woolley George says your break is still on.
What do you think of the brooch?
Oh, it's lovely, Cousin Em. Priceless, a real antique. Why do you ask?
Oh, I know you like jewelry. Just wanted to be sure. Was thinking of making my will.
Oh, Cousin Em, you mustn't think of such a thing. Why, it isn't as if you had a lot of relatives. Jeffers and I are the only two you got in the whole world. And I know how strongly you feel about keeping things in the family. Oh, what an idea to make a will while you live years and years, dear.
Pinky's a nurse. She graduated from one of the best hospitals up yonder. Let's ask her. Think I should be making my will?
Well, if you're ever going to make a will, Miss M, it's time you were getting it done.
There, Melba. There's a nurse's opinion. Very sensible. Especially as it agrees with my own.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Woolley. Miss M must rest now.
Well, she looks fine to me. And besides, we haven't finished our little visit yet, have we, dear?
I do feel a little queer. Maybe I have another fit coming on.
Fit?
That's where they start. Then I go clean out of my head.
Oh. Well, in that case, I guess I had better be on my way.
Oh, you're going? You'll come back, won't you?
Oh, yes, dear. I'll be in first thing next week. I certainly will. And no more nonsense about making a will, you naughty girl. No more nonsense.
Stop that. I won't have you laughing at my relatives.
Sorry, Miss M. She's not a blood relative, is she?
No, she married my cousin, Jeffers Woolley. He's my first cousin, once removed. Nearly removed himself clean out of the family when he married her. Jeffers never did have much sense. His father wanted him to study law. Didn't have the brains for it. Took up insurance. Tried to sell me a policy. Life insurance, he called it. I asked him if it ensured that I should live one day longer than the Lord allowed. He said it didn't. So I said, well, call it death insurance. You ought to be ashamed. Mention it to one of your own family. What are you standing there for?
Do you want tea or milk with your lunch?
Coffee.
Miss M, you know the doctor said...
I said coffee and make it strong.
Yes, Miss M.
And Pinky, when you bring my tray, bring me paper, pen, and ink. When you wash the dishes, you can take the rest of the afternoon off.
I don't like to leave you alone, Miss M.
Then send Darcy over.
Well, she can't stay long. This is her afternoon to take the washing to town.
Don't argue. Do as I say. Don't want you back here till after 5.
Yes, Miss M.
Make that coffee strong. I want the spoon to stand up in it.
Yes, Miss M. Miss M. Miss M.
What am I in bed for? I thought I was sitting in a chair.
You've had another attack. You've been up and doing too much.
Whose business is it if I do too much, I'd like to know?
Nobody's at all if you want to shorten your life. Flat on her back.
No. Prop me up. Give me some pillows. I'm not going to lie flat until I'm laid out. It'll be soon enough now.
Might as well let her have her own way.
It's all I ever wanted, to have my own way.
Here, open your mouth.
What's that? Dope?
Open your mouth.
I want some fresh water. It's stuck in my throat. No, I said fresh water. Close the door behind you. There's a draft in here. I want that girl knowing my business. Now go over there and look on the second shelf in the book. No, the other end. The other end. There, now with the book. There's an envelope in it. Get the envelope. And bring it here. It's my will. I want you to witness it.
Of course,
Well,
surely.
you don't have to read it. I just want you to sign it.
Here. You'll have to sign it again in my presence.
You know my signature?
Sign it again, please. These things have to be done legally.
No, lawyers have more full rigmarole.
Your executive.
You are.
Me? Isn't Judge Walker your lawyer?
He's retiring. Aren't you my friend? No, never mind that now. I don't need it. It's gone down. You didn't think I'm planning to die this minute. I'll be up to meet my classes right after holidays.
Mm-hmm.
My school. What the girls be doing with me in bed?
Don't you worry now. You'll be up and around in a few days. Try to get some sleep now. Afraid to speak her mind or take her stand for what she thought was right.
How long, Doctor?
Can't tell. Extraordinary vitality, but the last attack. Perhaps a week. Perhaps only a few hours.
Isn't there anything?
There now. You did a good job. I might even say a devoted job. Well, I'll stop in first thing tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Please.
There's something for you, ma'am?
Yes, do you have any morning veils, please?
Right this way, ma'am. This is our best quality, ma'am. $2.98. And the last we got in stock.
Yes, that'll be fine. I'll take it.
I allow you're going to Miss M's funeral, ma'am. They say she had a lot of friends.
Miss Viola, come wait on me, please.
Sorry, Miss Woolley. Just a minute, please, and I'll be right with you.
Where's Mr. Goulby?
Oh, excuse me, please, ma'am. I only meant I was...
Mr. Goulby?
busy waiting on someone. I only have to
Mr.
wrap this and
Goulby!
get the change.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Woolley. What can I do for you today, please, ma'am?
Since when has it been your policy to wait on niggers before white folks?
Why, I'm sorry, Mrs. Woolley. I'm sure that Miss Viola just didn't see you. Miss Viola.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Woolley.
I should think you would be. Now, Mr. Goolby, I repeat,
Now,
since
Mrs.
when is
Woolley,
it in
just
your
what would
policy?
you be interested in this morning? We have some nice new broadcloth. We also have some...
What's that?
Well, that's the money. The money, ma'am, she gave me. $5.
Is that Miss M's money?
No, Mrs. Woolley.
Would you mind telling me where you did get it?
I don't care to say where I got it, Mrs. Woolley.
Well, that's all you'll get away with. You can rest assured of that. Charge this. What's going on?
I'll take my veil now, Mr. Goolby. Unless you don't sell to colored people.
I'm in business to sell goods, and your money's as good as anybody's if it's honest money.
It's honest money. My grandmother earned it by harder work than selling goods over a counter. Do you wish to sell me the veil?
$4.98.
Very well, Mr. Goolby. My change, please.
When are you fixing to leave, honey?
There's no point in dragging this out any longer.
Thank you.
The court has heard all the facts and is ready to announce its finding.
Thank you, sir.
I do not intend to defend the wisdom of this bequest, nor do I intend to base my findings on the conclusions of the witnesses or on the hearsay evidence admitted here today. This will is a legal document. I have examined it, and I see no reason to doubt that it was written by a woman in full possession of her faculties. Moreover, plaintiffs have failed to establish that any undue influence was exerted by the defendant. The will is therefore declared to be good and valid, and the executor shall carry out its terms as written.
But, Judge Shoreham!
I want it clearly understood that any attempt to interfere with the defendant or her property will be answerable to this court. Court is now adjourned.
Judge Walker, I don't know how to thank you.
Well, Pinky, you won. You got the house and the land. And you got justice. But I doubt if any other interests of this community have been served.